So I have pretty piss poor weather. Hello and welcome back to another video in my Australia series. Today I'm taking you on part 1 of 2 of my Tasmania road trip, and I am so excited to share this with you. This was absolutely probably my favorite week, if not my favorite, definitely one of my top weeks of my entire trip. So I'm very excited to show my adventures with you. So my first stop in Tasmania was actually to Hobart. That's where I actually flew into from Melbourne. And I'll be honest, Hobart was just kind of my starting point. I didn't do a whole lot, but I made sure to go to the Salamanca Market, which is every Saturday from 9 until 3. And there's just a bunch of various vendors for food, crafts, clothing, etc. It's definitely worth a stop. Definitely make time to go there. And then I walked around Battery Point for a little bit. Beautiful neighborhood, and that's really all I did. I think I went back and I watched the coronation, and that was it. The next morning though, I picked up a camper van from Spaceships Rentals, and I really started my road trip. But before I could leave the Hobart area, I made sure to go up to Mount Wellington, which it was absolutely freezing, but it's the tallest point in Hobart. It's about a half hour outside. Definitely worth the trip up there. Gorgeous views. It was just a bit cold at the beginning of May. And then for the rest of the day, I just drove en route to my stop for the night, which was the Cradle Mountain area. But on my way, I actually stopped at Mount Wellington National Park. Now, I was really short on time, so I didn't get to do nearly as much as I wanted to here, and I definitely want to do more. But I went and I looked at the waterfalls. I went and I looked at the Russell waterfalls or Russell Falls, and then the 3 falls. So definitely worth taking a stop there. This is actually the oldest national park in Tasmania, and I highly recommend a visit. I definitely will be back to explore it further. Good morning from the Cradle Mountain area in Tasmania. I am in a camper van for the next, well, I guess now 5 nights. But for 6 nights, I'm in a camper van, kind of doing the highlights of Tasmania. Obviously not going to do the whole state because there's a lot, but just kind of getting a taste of it, and I'll be back in some point for maybe like a month or so. But I rented a camper van and actually had a decent night's sleep, so I'm happy. It's just very cold. I think it's actually a little bit unseasonably cold, but it is fall here. So anyway, I'm just having some oatmeal, and then I'm gonna go hit the road and go hiking. Hopefully the weather holds out, but I will be back later to kind of do more of a full update on the situation. But yeah, I just want to pop on and say welcome, and we're gonna try van life for the next 5 nights, 6 nights. After eating breakfast, I got some gas and then I drove to Cradle Mountain, but as you're about to see, unfortunately the weather did not hold out. Okay, so I know I've looked better, but the weather is really overcast and cold and rainy. But here doing the Dove Lake circuit at Cradle Mountain, and it's supposed to be a much prettier, lovelier view. I'll put some photos maybe of what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, it's still pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's not the weather we wanted. But I'll still show you around. The Dove Lake circuit takes about 2 to 3 hours. I might add on something else, but anyway, let's have a hiking adventure, and we'll still have fun despite the weather. But it's just starting to actually just like ice, so I don't feel comfortable going up that, if you can see that. But it's still like a really nice view here, so I'll show you. But I think this is where I'm gonna stop. Second time hiking, it's been crappy weather, but hopefully third time will be the charm when I go to Frychet later this week. But anyway, it's still beautiful, and I want to show you. I feel like the rain mist gives it like a moody sort of feel. But anyway, now I gotta go down. And it's very, very rocky, if you can see. It's very rocky, but makes for a good challenge. Still rainy, but still having a good time. So I have pretty piss poor weather for this, but that's okay. If there's something about me you should know, I will hike in anything. I will hike if it's hot, it's cold, rainy, I will hike. I do wish though it was nicer to show you, but I'm just having a lot of time to think and breathing in the fresh Tassie air. Apparently it's the cleanest in the world. Well, that's what the box of my water said, but it is very nice out here despite the weather. And yeah, I mean, I'm still having a good day. A little bit about Cradle Mountain. It's one of the national parks here in Tasmania. You do need a parks pass to get in. At Cradle Mountain, I'm doing the Dove Lake loop, but there's multiple various different hikes you could do. And when you get here, you go to the main visitor center where you will get if you already have a parks pass, you will get a ticket for the shuttle bus that will take you here. If you don't have a parks pass, you can buy it there, and then they'll still give you a shuttle bus ticket. You can buy just a day pass, but for me, because I'm going to multiple national parks, it was best just to do the 2-month holiday pass. And yeah, this helped by a very nice park employee ranger, very cute. But yeah, so continuing along the path here, it's not too difficult. I would say anyone with some fitness can do it. It's not very accessible though, so for those who use ambulatory devices, unfortunately it's not the best for that. But otherwise, I'm going to keep going. It might be clearing up just a smidge, but yeah. As you can see, it wasn't the best day for hiking, but I still had a great time completing the entire loop. It took me a few hours, and yes, I did have to battle the cold and the wind and the rain, but honestly, I would love to come back here when hopefully the weather is better and tackle it again, because I can just tell how beautiful it is, even with the mist and the low-hanging clouds. So highly recommend a visit. Definitely get that parks pass and put Cradle Mountain on your Tasmania journey for sure. Some daylight still, and hopefully it won't rain. Hopefully you can hear me over the wind. I'm going to give you a little tour of the camper van. So this is Galileo. I rented it from Spaceship Rentals, which I guess Galileo is a very fitting name. But let me show you inside. Okay, so this is the front of the car. And we're gonna go to the passenger side first because the door's already open. And mind you, this has been lived in a bit, so you know, just it's a little messy. But in the front here, I just have a couple things of water, some toilet paper just in case. This is my clothes for tomorrow. I have my kitchen stuff up here just because I wanted to put my electronics bag in the back, which you'll see in a second. But I have my like toiletries, water bottle, we'll go back there. But basically kind of like your normal car stuff. And then we're gonna open up this door. And I have my rain jacket drying, so we'll remove that. But back here is kind of the living space. So I have stuff stored under here. It's a little messy at the moment. I'm trying to organize it before it gets dark. But then this is the bed. So essentially there is this piece here, this wooden piece that you put on these slats that come out, and then you can put the bed down. And then there's some pillows and the comforter. Right now it's a bit of a mess, but it makes for the evening when you go to bed. What am I saying? But you know what I mean. And then you have these curtains that close at night. So you get some privacy. Here is a charging port. So 2 USB, and then you turn it on there, off and on. This is the smart battery. It takes about 4 hours of driving to get it to work. So I'm just gonna charge my phone and a few electronics and turn it off. But then you go to the back. And the back here, I have some food out for this evening, but let me see if I can put this down. Okay, so in the back here, you have these 2 bars that come out, and then that's where you put the wood thing here. So if you want to cook out the back, you can. If you lift this up, and I'll bring you back, but this is kind of your kitchen area. So in here you have the fridge, which is controlled by that switch up there. I don't have a whole lot in there, and I turn it off at night. And then this is just kind of miscellaneous stuff. I need to put this stuff away. But miscellaneous food items. Your 2 stoves, some water. And then this comes down. It's supposed to lock, but mine doesn't. So, but I put my electronics bag in there at night. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I rented it from Spaceship Rentals. I got mine in Hobart, but they're kind of all throughout Australia, and then I think they also are in New Zealand, and then potentially somewhere in Europe, possibly. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it was a pretty good deal. Not the cheapest thing, but for what I want to do, I think the price was pretty fair. And I'm just staying at cheap campsites for the evenings. I will say the bed is actually pretty comfortable. And I'm not just saying that. It honestly is pretty comfortable. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's definitely different than anything else I've done, but I enjoy it so far. And yeah, you can definitely free camp in this thing, but for me, because I'm by myself and just first time really doing van life, I just wanted to have the safety or security of a place, a campground that has a few amenities. Yeah, that's Galileo, my home for the weekend. And if you have any questions, let me know. But that's that's pretty much it. The next morning, I woke up early and then I drove a couple of hours from Cradle Mountain to Launceston. And I just spent a few hours here. I actually went on a run, and I'm actually thinking at the end of the series of doing a little video showing all the places I ran along my trip. So let me know if you want that. But anyway, then I headed over to Cataract Gorge Reserve, which has some moderate hiking, like they're not very long, but some moderate hiking locations, and also the world's longest single chairlift. So was there for a few hours and got to check out some great views. Okay, so I'm at Cataract Gorge, which is in Launceston, and I'm just here for a little bit, not too long, just to walk around. I also just ran, but I just took the zigzag route, and has the view here. It's not the best view. I don't know if it was worth the hike, but it's really pretty still. Finally got some sun, but you can see the gorge, and then where is it? Over here? I don't know if you can see it. There's a chairlift. I don't know if I'll do that, but we'll see how much it is. But yeah, it's pretty. I'm gonna see if I can get down closer, and then I'm gonna continue heading on my adventure. But today was a good morning. I woke up early, it was cold, but then I got the road, got to Launceston about a little after 10, and then I'm gonna do this. That's a little bit better view. Do this, and then I had to go run a couple errands before heading then to the Bay of Fires. So I explored Cataract Gorge for a couple hours, and it was just amazing seeing a place like this in such a big city like Launceston. But it was really fun. Definitely recommend, especially if great weather. Spend a few hours, chill out, and just soak in nature. And then after this, I started driving to the Bay of Fires, and this is where I first started to notice some noise with my vehicle, which you'll see shortly what is going on. But you can tell in that clip I'm actually pretty stressed driving. But eventually I did make it to the Bay of Fires, which is an absolute dream come true. I remember seeing photos a few years ago from the Bay of Fires, and I've made it a top priority to come and visit. So to just be here, especially at sunset, was just an absolute dream come true. And you'll see here in a couple clips, there's a clip of the sun setting over a tree, which reminds me a lot of the movie poster from Pride and Prejudice, the one with Keira Knightley in it. So I don't know, but it was just truly magical. But then the vehicle stuff, which wasn't so magical. Okay, good evening. I know the lighting is absolutely tragic, but so it is May 9th. I am at a campground in St. Helens and near the Bay of Fires, and I think there's something wrong with the van. It's making a really loud noise, like a whooshing, scraping, grinding noise when I'm apply the brake, even like barely applying it. And I noticed it today when I was in Launceston, and I thought maybe it's just because it was city traffic, and it was fine driving out here, but as I was pulling to the campground or driving to the campground, I was rolling down the window and I was listening, and it just sounds bad from the passenger side. So because I'm in a safe location, I'm not on the side of the road, I went ahead, I just emailed the companies to see what I should do. Hopefully they'll get back to me first thing in the morning, either via email or my phone number that I gave them. But yeah, I'm hesitant to do anything more until I know further instructions. And if I'm going to have it checked out, I'd rather do it here, because St. Helens is a little bit of a bigger town compared to pretty much anywhere else I go. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I might be here another night, but If that's the case, I'm still going to go to Spaceships National Park, but I'm just going to basically have to skip out on Port Arthur probably. But we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But I do think it needs to get looked at, because I do think something's wrong with the brakes, and whether that's something that can be fixed or if I need like a replacement vehicle or something, I don't know, but I'll keep you updated. But such is travel, such is life, and we'll just have to see in the morning. But for now, I'm here, and I'm going to make dinner and relax and see what the morning brings us. I am waiting for a replacement car. They gave me an unsafe car to drive.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me.